What's up, Rolling McCollum's family? What's up, Vince Talk Nation? What's up, NFL fans? In today's video, we're going to go ahead and ask the question, might the Dolphins not pick a wide receiver in round one? Also, the Dolphins have met with top prospects for the cornerback positions, as well as the wide receiver position. Let me go ahead and first read to you an article about two cornerback prospects that they met with at the combines, and also a top wide receiver that they may be looking at that they've already met with that may be replacing Jalen Waddle. First one, the top two cornerback prospects that they've spoken to when they were at the combine. Dolphins meeting with two top cornerback prospects. The Miami Dolphins didn't have a pass defense in the league in 2025. They allowed 216 yards, 216.4 yards through the air on the season, good for 18th in the NFL. Now that the Dolphins potentially lose Rasul Douglas, they've lost Rasul Douglas. They lost Jack Jones and Kader Kohu. AJ Green's the only one left in free agency. They're going to meet with Mansour Delane. They've met with Mansour Delane again. Delane's only 22 and he was a 3-star coming out of Archbishop. That's the cornerback they're going to meet with. The receiver that they're going to meet with, the top prospect that they're going to meet with, have met with. I don't know if they've already met with the receiver, but they're going to meet with him because after the Jalen Waddle trade. So let me read to you that article. The Miami Dolphins made one of the most surprising and most impactful moves in the offseason earlier this week, trading Jalen Waddle and a draft pick to the Denver Broncos for a trio of draft selections. The trade, along with the decision to move Tyreek Hill and Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, leaves the Dolphins with an incredible thin wide receiver room. So they'll have to continue adding at that position before week one. With two first-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, Miami could target one of the top wide receivers on day one. Interestingly, they met with one of them just before sending Waddle to Denver. According to Essential Sports' Tony Pauline, the Dolphins attended Washington's Pro Day earlier this week and met with Denzel Boston. Boston, 22, was a 3-star recruit out of Emerald Ridge High School in Puyallup, Washington, before committing to Washington for the 2022 season. In his first 4 seasons with the Huskies, he caught 132 passes for 1,781 yards, 20 touchdowns, while also handling some punt return duties. The 6'4", 212-pound wideout would immediately jump to the top of a room that's currently led by 2024 6th-round pick Malik Washington and free agent signing Tutu Atwell and Jalen Tolbert. So they recently met with the Washington Husky wide receiver Boston. I'm going to give you food for thought as to why the Dolphins may not select a wide receiver in the first round. And I'm also going to pop up the video for you in this video so you can see the video clips for yourself. But I'm going to give you food for the thoughts in these video clips. It is Bucky Brooks on a podcast talking why he believes they'll draft a tight end early and why they will not draft a wide receiver early, according to what he knows from John Eric Sullivan and his background.
I've said this previously, but I had just been told by a lot of people, not one person or two people, a lot of people, that Miami was 27, 27, 27. That's where their focus was. They go out and sign Malik Willis. My first reaction was like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, they went to the top of the free agent quarterback market and it was like, you saw the numbers come in. You're like, it was a little lower than we thought. I almost feel bad a little bit for Malik Willis in that, man, they're kind of stripping the cupboards bare here as they kind of look towards the future.
Yeah, they're stripping the cupboards bare, but let's also think about where they come from and what could be in play in terms of the weapons on the outside. So we have talked about that at some point there's going to be a reckoning at wide receiver where people are going to have to make a decision. Are we going to pay $40+ million for top receivers, or are we going to cycle them through with younger, cheaper models because we've seen so many young wide receivers come in and have success right away? given their experience in Green Bay, where up until last year, where they took Matthew Golden, first round pick, they've always been able to find receivers in those like outside the first round. Well, now you talk about Waddle, significant salary. You're gonna have to redo this. Why not jumpstart that process by, hey, let's get younger and let's just always bring one or two receivers in every year. And because John Eric Sullivan, who is the son of Jerry Sullivan, one of the best wide receiver coaches that we've ever seen in the National Football League, they may feel like they can crack the code when it comes to finding the wideout, which might be why they were good with letting Tyreek Hill go and Jalen Waddle go when the outside world would say, oh, you let two of your premier receivers go. They may feel like they can develop guys that can give them that kind of production down the line.
Well, I think they got to find them in the draft. I'm looking at their roster. We haven't put it in the chat here. With Tutu Atwell, Jalen Tolbert, Terrace Marshall Jr., Malik Washington, Taj Washington. Not scaring a lot of folks with that group, Buck. So they're gonna have to do something. Now they're armed with picks. They got 4 third-round picks in this to go along with the 2 1s.
Okay, because both of us have done the deep dive on this class. TJ, how many wide receivers have we seen and we said, hey, man, this guy can be a day 2 guy? Like when we think about the number of wide receivers that can do it, I mean, you can go as far down when we talk about just the pure X's, right? You know, if you get a Ted Hurst from Jersey State and you come back and you get a Antonio Williams that can play in the slot, like there's some confidence that you can find guys that can get it done. I feel like this class may not have like the superstar wide receivers that we talk about, the Jamar Chases and the like, but day 2, early day 3, there's going to be a run of wide receivers that are going to end up being very, very good players in this league for a long time.
There you go. Why Bucky believes that the Dolphins will not be picking a wide receiver in the first round. Now, I'm going to let you listen to his thoughts of what he believes they'll be picking in the first round. Give me a second.
So we'll get to the Dolphins 11 and 30. We touched on them earlier. I don't know that it's a necessity that 11 or 30 is a wideout just because of what we talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, here's what I would say, and it won't happen. But what I would love for the Miami Dolphins to do is somewhere in there, maybe it's early. I would love to see them get a playmaking tight end. Last year, Darren Waller, when you look at right now on our last depth chart, they have no one at tight end that scares you at all. And I'm not saying that the first pick of your rebuild era needs to be a tight end, but somewhere in there, I would like to see him get a tight end that can make plays. And at the back of the first round, maybe Sadiq is there. Maybe you have an opportunity to upgrade the middle of the field because wide receiver, playmaker, they need more playmakers on offense to offset what they have in the backfield with Achane. And I'm just thinking about, we paid a lot of money for Malik Willis, regardless of where we say it was a discount or not. Still want to get him going. I don't want to get his tail kicked. And in Green Bay, they had multiple tight ends that could make the game easy for him. I want to make sure I can replicate some of that.
Also thinking in the secondary, they could do some things there. Caleb Downs would make some sense for him too.
All right, guys, there you heard Buggy's take. He says tight end or edge. So we'll see what happens. Also, really quick, Troy Aikman will be staying with the Dolphins in some capacity. He's obviously going to stay with Monday Night Football on a full-time basis, but he'll stay on a part-time basis with the Miami Dolphins in some capacity. Let me know your thoughts and what you believe about the Dolphins talking to top prospects in the cornerback room and in the wide receiver room. And let me know your thoughts. Are the Dolphins going to take a wide receiver at pick 11 or pick 30? Or are they going to go to the trenches or the tight end? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. And like always, I appreciate your support. Like always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Dolphins.